didn't think I'd ever find this coin. I had been collecting probably 5 or 6 years, and I had asked one of the real gurus, Sheridan Downey, to assist me in finding some rare dates. And Sheridan is by far the most knowledgeable bust-half dealer today. He has seen and done it all for every coin. This is an 1814 E over A. The E in states on the reverse has an A under it because, again, of the mistake of the die maker. He put an A where the E should be, and instead of completely getting rid of the A, he just put an E over it. At the time that I bought this about 3 years ago, it was the only mint state coin that had ever been found, meaning it's a mint state 64, and they hadn't found anything between mint state 60 and 64 at the time that I bought this coin. So it's the only mint state coin. Last year, Sheridan sold to another bust-half collector the other 64s. He made another 64 last year. Now there are 2 of them.
Is this undervalued as well?
Again, at one time it was the only one known. Now there are 2 known. In almost any other series that I know, this coin would be a $50,000 to $75,000 coin. I paid Sheridan $9,500 for it. It's almost a stupid price to realize because of its rarity that you can buy it at that level. And they still haven't gone up that much. I think Sheridan sold the last one that was made last year for $11,000. That is just too inexpensive for the rarity that this has.
This would be a great series for other collectors to jump into right now, wouldn't it?
There are a lot of people in it, and there are a lot of people looking for these coins, and I've been very fortunate to be able to find this level because there are a lot of people looking.
Are there?
I'd say there's at least a dozen collectors that are looking for the same types of coins I am looking for, and there are thousands of collectors that are putting together circulated sets.
Do you think your set influenced some of these people?
No, not for the people that were putting together the circulated coins. Maybe the people that are putting together the mint state coins, if they look here and see what can be done. This next one is, again, a very unusual coin. It's called the 1817 punctuated date. You look at it, there is a little point between the 1 and the 7, and they call it a punctuated date. This is a Pop 1 coin. It's the only 65 that PCGS has ever graded. The other services have not graded anything higher. And it is
the finest known.
It is not tied for finest known. It's not among the finest known. It is the finest known. And I'm repeating myself. It is ridiculous to think that this coin only cost me $15,000. The Pop 1s in the Barber series that I collected, when we had Pop 1 coins, they cost anywhere between $75,000 and $100,000. And the Barber series was 60 years later. But to go back this early and be able to find these coins at these prices is, it won't last forever. They will eventually find their place.
Right.
But yes, and I believe they are still undervalued. This is the coin that is featured in all of the brochures. It's the 1823 in 66. This has a great story. It turns out, even though I didn't know it, that I own this coin raw. In about 1996, I was at the Denver A&A, and a fairly accomplished old-time dealer convinced me to buy this coin raw. And Kenny advised against it, and Paul Montgomery advised against it. You don't want to be buying raw coins, Dale. I said, but I like it.
Which is good advice.
It was great advice, and it turned out it was great advice. And I said, but I really like it. And it would have been my second bust-half because I only owned one before that time. And so we bought it. I paid pretty good money for it. I had U.S. Coins send it in for grading. It came back as a 64. And I was very, very disappointed. And I wasn't the type of person that would send in and send in and send in. I just said, that's what it's graded. I just accepted it, at least at that time. And probably about 6 months later, I said, well, I've lost some money on it. Let's go ahead and just sell it. And I took a big loss selling it as a 64. Then in about 2005, Bob Hughes called me, and everyone is aware of Bob. Bob, I think, was working for Superior at the time, or perhaps Heritage, I can't remember. He said, Dale, I've got a coin that you need, because he knew that I was collecting bust halves by that time. And I said, sure, what is it? He said, it's this 1823 and 66. And I already had an 1823 and 65, but I said, send it on. If you say it's that good, I'll take a look at it. And it showed up. And
you recognized it immediately.
I didn't.
You didn't?
This coin I paid approximately $22,000 for.
The second time?
The second time. I paid $13,000 for it the first time and sold it for $6,000. And it's been in my collection since about 2005. At Fun, just a month ago, this set was being displayed. And the dealer who sold me the coin in 1996 said, Dale, you need to pull that 1823 out and let me look at it, because I'm almost positive I sold you that coin raw in 1996. So he pulled it out, and there are a couple of little markers that he was looking for that he remembered about the coin that he said, I think I can identify it as the coin or not. Sure enough, it is the coin. And I said, Richard, I remember you selling me a raw bust half in 96. And then I told him the story about what had happened. And he said, well, you just weren't aggressive enough, because that's definitely a 66, as it so shows.
Right.
So he was very happy to know that he had sold me a coin that priced at 66 that turned out to be a 66.
Very cool story.
It cost me some money, but it was a good lesson. The 1823 patched 3 is a hard coin to find this nice. Anytime we can find coins like the 1823 in 66 and the 1823 patch 3 in 64 that have the luster that these coins have. Most of them have nice color, but they're muted.
That's one thing about your collection. It's very uniform.
When it has this type of luster, you've got to go for it. This is a very, very rare coin, and it is really, really inexpensive.
It's flashy.
It's tied for second finest known. It's prettier than the finest known. It's just not technically as good. And I paid something like $3,500 for this coin.
Wow.
And that is a ridiculously low sum.
That sounds really
for not
low.
only the coin, but its rarity. And this last one, again, has a nice story. It's the 1839 reeded edge in 65. They have graded at 66, but it's not near as nice as this 65. This has the kind of color and luster that, we just crave.
Yeah.
And the fun thing about this coin that made me so proud when I bought it is that it was at a Bowers and Marina auction, and sitting next to me, to my left, was David Schweitz, who is an excellent judge of condition and color. He has put together some of the finest Kamem sets, and he is a color freak just like I am. We like the color. And we got into a bidding war, and I outbid him. And he came to me after the auction and said, Dale, you don't really want that coin. I really want that coin. What's it going to take? And I felt really, really rewarded that I had been competing with one of the better experts that said he really wanted that coin, but we got it for our collection. And that's a good sampling of what we've been doing.
They're beautiful, Dale. How long do you think you'll hold on to them?
As long as I can. I don't plan on doing any more complete sets. That's a real challenge. If I even thought about doing a complete set of these today, you would have to drop down into the circulated grades to even think about doing it, because they've been put away pretty strongly in other collections. So this is my last complete set that I have. I'm sure I'll buy and sell coins for a while, but I see this going last, if at all. Maybe my wife and kids will have to do something about it, but I think we'll keep this one together for as long as I can.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing your story.
And you're quite welcome.